Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Becca's Backyard, the winter edition. It's where I share my inside thoughts outside with you, but inside because it's cold outside. That's a lot of sides. Yeah, so it's still cold out. It's a gorgeous sunny day, but it is chilly out there, and I could definitely have done the video out there, but I think it's much more fun for us to do this kind of, I don't know, face to face rather than with my hat on and sunglasses and scarf and coat and everything, to kind of go through with doing an outside video. So I think I'm going to stick inside for the colder weather, unless I get a bonus amazing day, in which case I will take you guys out there. Now that that's over with, I hope you guys can tell I'm in much better spirits this week. I did a lot of self-care along with a lot of work, like catch-up work that was kind of backlogged from having traveled. And I took care of a lot of that this week. It was a pretty important week for me, which should leave me exhausted, but instead it leaves me recharged. And the lesson in that is if you're doing what you love and you're living where you love and you take the time to build a daily life that you really enjoy, even when you're busy, you still are happy and feeling good about it, and not feeling exhausted by it. So that's my little tiny lesson in there, but not what I really want to talk about today. I've alluded to what I want to talk about a little bit in the past couple of videos. I keep talking about 2019 and my plans for 2019, and I've talked a couple of times about my infamous F word, which is infamous to me and my house. But it's what I do every year, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about how I got started doing that, what it means to me, and sort of how I've adapted and grown with it this year. And sort of over the years. And so maybe it's something you guys want to incorporate into your life, or perhaps it will spark an idea for you in which you can go ahead and grow with it. Maybe it'll give you some idea of something you can do or change for the year coming up. So in any case, enough introductory on that. Let me just explain it to you. So the F word, my F word. I call it that now just because it's fun to say. When I started out doing it, my intention was to organize my energy for the year ahead and to figure out, excuse me, a way for it to stay kind of focused on that thing for the year. And what most people do and what's commonly done is something we call a resolution, right? And most people joke about them. It's usually about losing weight, or maybe it's about kind of, every time I do this, I'm sorry, but my Home Depot boxes, I apologize. We're going to move soon. I know they'll get unpacked in the next place. It's just so sad to me. Anyway, I'll sit in front of it. So, yeah, the F word. So I decided I was going to maybe try to do resolutions, but the problem I had with resolutions is that people always broke them. I mean, part of what became the definition of picking a resolution was like, how long can you stick with it? And that's sort of a losing kind of attitude, I felt like. And so I never really bought into the concept of a resolution. I was like, oh, people say they're going to do stuff and don't do it. There's something I really love. So I didn't want to do that, but I did want to focus my energy. I wanted to start to really organize my life and see what I could be doing with it. So what I started to do instead was to create a theme for the year. So I tried to pick kind of an idea or a word or something I really needed to work on for that year ahead. And so whenever I was sort of in a place of struggling and I couldn't sort of figure out what to do, or I needed an idea to take the next step forward, or I needed a way to solve a situation in an interpersonal way, I would look to my word for the year as a way to, possibly solve that situation in a new and different way. And so that very first year, it was 2015, was my first year. I wrote myself a little postie. I will show you guys. That's why I keep looking down. I wrote myself a little postie with my F words that I've done. I've done it for the past, 4 years. So this will be my 5th year. 2019 will be my 5th year. And I just kept notes for myself so I could remember to tell you guys where I started and share with you my journey. So there it is. So my very first word in 2015 was forgiveness. I was really working through my diagnosis. My grandmother had just passed away, and I was trying to understand that. And my mom had just passed away, so I was also trying to understand that. And so what I had wanted to do with that was kind of to look at the year and say, how could I move on with all of these things. And the thing that I was learning was that I needed to forgive. I needed to forgive a lot of people. I needed to forgive a lot of situations. And I really needed to forgive myself for a lot of things. I needed to be able to let myself off the hook because I couldn't control everything. That had become clear. And I needed to learn to not carry the baggage, the anger for all of these things that people didn't even know I was so upset about. Like I was angry and upset about things from my childhood that there's no way anybody could go back and change. But I was carrying that around with me, and that requires a certain amount of energy, and I didn't want to be putting it there anymore. So forgiveness was my first word in 2015, and with forgiveness, I went ahead and I got myself a tattoo, which if you're a Fringe fan, you'll recognize. But in essence, it was to remind me that I really wanted to spend that year truly paying attention to forgiving myself more than anybody else. And so that's what I spent 2015 doing. Really good word for me. It worked. I stuck with it all year. So the next year I said to myself, what am I going to do this year? And I decided I don't know how to pick, so I'll stick with an F word. And there we have the invention of the F word. And that's sort of what I've done every year since then. I've started with wanting to find an F word to describe it. So 2016 was the year of fearless. That year I said, I'm going to face all my fears and I'm just going to walk into them with courage and be, as Brene Brown would say, brave and afraid at the same time. And I did that in 2016. I lived a fearless year. I took some huge risks that I probably never would have taken if I hadn't been following my theme. And it was pretty amazing. So it worked 2 years in a row. I continued for a third year. 2017 for me was a year of focus. I spent that year really focusing on what was in front of me, what I had to deal with, and also focusing on where I wanted to be and how I was going to get there. And not letting myself get distracted by other people's noise, by other people's problems that they were trying to solve, by the world's problems that I really can't fix on my own. And I just wanted to stay focused and in my lane, on my piece of grass, as I've talked about before. So I did that in 2017. It was really amazing. I can remember all of the things that I had to stay focused on and ignore for 2017. That was a tough year to do that for me. So it ended up being a great word because it was good learning lessons. And then we have ourselves for this year. And this year, what I did for myself was I found this great website, and it's called My Intent. It's myintent.com, and they make these little bracelets. I'm going to show them to you. So I don't know how well you can see it, but it's basically a washer, and they put a word into it. They stamp a word into it of your choice. And then it's a bracelet and you tie it on yourself. And it kind of stays on you forever, or until you take it off or it falls off or whatever. But this way you kind of have committed yourself to an intention, whatever that may be. So for some people it's be brave. For some people it's be courageous. For some people it's persist. Whatever it may be, they've chosen that word and they do these bracelets. So I thought, well, that's a great solution for me. Every year I'm going to get myself one. So last year, 2018 was the first year I got one with the 2018 word, which was float. 2018 float was the word because I really needed to understand that even when I want things, I can't shove them into place. I can't want, wish, control, push, shove things to happen any faster than they're going to happen or in the way that they're going to unfold. And with that, that meant that sometimes when things got rough and uncomfortable and challenging and painful, I had to learn to just sit back and do nothing, but float with it for a little bit and wait for the solution to come. And that was really important this year, especially because I was moving this year and there were plenty of things that I couldn't force or shove into place, not where I was going to live, not when it was going to show up or when we were going to actually physically move. If we could make it, any of those things, most of it I had to float with. And if I had not taken the time to spend with that word and really take it to heart, I probably would have struggled a lot more with this journey. So it led to a very successful 2018. I mean, here I am in December and I'm still standing. So hey, success in 2018. Or theoretically standing, I guess. So that leads us to this year. And before I tell you what my 2019 word is, because I have it, I finally picked it and I ordered my bracelet. But I don't want to share it with you guys yet. what I want to do is challenge you guys to pick your 2019 word. I went through my last 5 years of words. I told you how important they were to me. It's such a better choice than making a resolution that you can't keep. And it's something you can do all year long. And anytime a challenge gets hard, if you have chosen the word that fits your life right, it should help you to arrive at a solution in a new way. And so I'm not going to give you my 2019 word this week. I'm going to hang on to my 2019 word till next week, giving you guys a chance to pick your own 2019 word and share it. And again, if you decide to go ahead and do this, you can get your own bracelet at myintent.com. I have no allegiance to them. I'm not a maker of any kind. I don't make these bracelets. I don't know anybody who sells them. It's just something that I do for me. You get a t-shirt, get a hat, get a tattoo if you want to, I mean, whatever. But, you know, that's sort of what I'm challenging you guys to this week. So as we get into the second week of December, start to think about your 2019. Start to think about kind of what are the things that you want to see be different, or how do you want to be different in 2019, right? And try to find yourself a word, and it doesn't have to be an F word. You can pick any letter you want, and it doesn't have to be the same letter every year. It's just what I do. It's how I keep myself accountable. Good luck finding your 2019 word. I can't wait to share mine with you next week. Bye, guys.